How are you doing on this fine Sunday? Whenever you're listening to this, I hope you're doing well. Today is day 67 of our Pele Yoeitz journey, and we continue. We're mamish right next to and right at the footsteps of Rosh Hashanah tomorrow night. As Hashem Yisparach, wishing everybody Ksivich Simatova and a good Gebench Diyar. Usually you say that at the end. I'm saying at the beginning. Maybe I'll say at the end as well. Aleph, Ches, Dalet, Vav, Saf. We've got Achdus, and it's more than enough. Achdus, we're smack in the middle of this chapter from the Pele Yoeitz. We'll do it today. We'll do it tomorrow, finish up, and then we'll continue. We're obviously not going to have shiurim over Rosh Hashanah. We'll continue after. All right. You have a group, and you want to do something, and you want to accomplish something, and you want it to be sustained. Whatever that something is, you have a goal, a dream, an aspiration. You know what the trick is, says the Pele Yoeitz? The trick to have success, to have continuation for whatever davar, for whatever thing you want, is for the group, the chabura, to be in the realm of an aguda echas, to be unified. Then, when there is Achdus, the winds of the world will not be able to move you. You will not budge from your place. All the winds in the world will not be able to move you from your place, provided that you are mimkomam, you're ba'achdus. You know, the redwood trees. It's like a classic mashal, but it's a true mashal. The redwood trees in California, they're the tallest trees in the world. And their roots, mamish, they don't go that low. They don't go that far down. And how do such tall trees remain so strong? And the answer is because underground, their roots interlock and they interwove to create this grid of interlocked trees, and that's how they sustain. That's how they become a chabura, because they're mamish aguda achas. They're rooted together, intertwined as one, and that's really the recipe for success: to be rooted together. But if this one has his opinion, this one has that opinion, it's okay to have different opinions, but if your opinion gets to the point where you want your opinion to come first before the other guy, and you say, well, I'm successful, I'm victorious, we won, then you make fractions, it leads to destruction, and you're not going to be successful. Only evil will come out of that. It's going to cause a wildfire of argumentation. Evil consequences are sure to follow. The Pele Yoeitz in here does not reference the teaching from Chazal, which I'm pretty sure was the great Hillel, who the Chazal tell us about Hillel, that they would say the opinion of Shammai before themselves, and that's one of the reasons why we paskin like them. I think Chazal say something like that. If you know the exact source, please let me know. Okay, it's there's an analogy with an actual aguda, a bundle. If you have a bundle of reeds, which a reed by itself you easily break, but as long as they're bound together as a bundle, even the strongest person, you won't be able to break it. However, if you have one reed by itself, each one by itself, then it becomes more easily breakable. It says in Hosea, their heart is separated from me. Right? It says when the Jewish people's hearts are separated from me, meaning Hashem, now they will be destroyed. But provided that our hearts are unified and connected, and we become aguda achas with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, so then we have this unbreakable bond. Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba, because if you're clinging to the Torah, if you're clinging to Kadosh Baruch Hu, you become like that reed. Now you become a bundle, and therefore it's an Eitz Chaim. That's when it's going to provide vitality. But when we shy away from it, we don't hold on to it, and we're disregarding that, so then we become susceptible to the influences of everything else. If someone wants to accomplish something good in his city, so that everybody will accept his idea, he shouldn't just at the whim, just gather everyone together and then tell them their idea. Rather, he should go to each one individually first. Tell each one what his idea is, so that they should really hear, mamash understand, name, and the matter should enter into their ears. And then afterwards, be by good achas. Then afterwards, get them together, and then they're going to be much more susceptible to being in agreement with one another. Okay, because if a person tries to crack the nuts that are all in a bag, kulam at once, lo yuchal shabram, he won't be able to do that. Aval achas la'achas hishabras kulan. However, if you try to break them one by one, each one individually, then you will be successful. Aval lo yasazos kadesh yazer l'ra v'lo yikakarach. Don't try to use this whole power of the chabura for evil. And he mentioned right on Friday in the shir about Dar Haflaga that they used this idea of getting together, unification, as a way to proliferate evil, which is a bad thing. So don't use this force of chabura, of aguda, of achdus for bad, like Korach did. Because somebody who does this, he's could be called an instigator or an inciter. Al davar emes, in the way of truth. You should guide them on the upright path. And when this is his intent, he should conduct himself accordingly in order that they accept his plan. And listen, one of the there's a story about there's a story that comes to mind that represents this idea of being an Achdus, of being unified together. And that is, there was somebody, a little boy, who came home from Cheder, he came home from school, and he started reading a pasuk. He did his homework with his father. And after every single pasuk he read in the Torah, he would say Hashem's name. You would read a pasuk and say Hashem's name. His father says, "What the chinuch is this? What's going on? How come you're saying Hashem's name after each pasuk?" And the kid said, my Rebbe said that when there's two dots is Hashem's name. Right? Two dots are next to each other, Hashem's name, two Yoeitz. And the kid said, if you look after every pasuk that I'm reading in the Chumash, there's two dots. If you look Taka in a Chumash, after every pasuk, there's two dots. So after every pasuk, when he read his homework, he was saying Hashem's name. And the father said, my son, I want to teach you something. And you'll never forget this. If there's two dots, one on top of each other, a dot is a Yud. A Yid represents a Jew. If two Yidin are on top of each other, that's not Hashem's name. That represents the end of a pasuk, sof pasuk. That represents the end of something. You know how you know two dots is Hashem's name? When you see it side by side, next to each other. When two, like a tseireh, when two dots are next to each other, when two Yidin are next to each other, when two Yidin see eye to eye with one another, when they respect each other, and there's Achdus amongst them, then Hashem is Shaira, his Shechina, then Hashem dwells his Shechina. But provided that one Yid is on top of another Yid, that's Sof Pasuk. That's the end of a Pasuk. That leads to Churban. That leads to destruction. My friends, if we want Achdus, we want true unity, we can't be like the two Yuds by the Sof Pasuk, by the end of the Pasuk. We have to be like the two Yidin that are next to each other. And then Hashem's Shechina could be Shaira, and it could be called by the Shem of I, it could be called by the name of Hashem. Wishing everybody a fantastic rest of your day, and wishing you a ksiv v'chsima tova and a good Gebench Diyar. Mitzvah Hashem will finish tomorrow on Erev Rosh Hashanah this section of Achdus, beautiful Indian, as we get into the spirit of Rosh Hashanah in Melech B'Layam. We need to be an Am, we need to be a people unified together as one, and then we'll continue after Rosh Hashanah. Thank you so much, and all the best.